95 Albert Camus quote on how you process your feelings. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Nobody realizes that some people expend tremendous energy merely to be normal. Should I kill myself, or have a cup of coffee? Live to the point of tears. But in the end one needs more courage to live than to kill himself. You know what charm is, a way of getting the answer yes without having asked any clear question. I may not have been sure about what really did interest me, but I was absolutely sure about what didn't. Blessed are the hearts that can bend, they shall never be broken. Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. I opened myself to the gentle indifference of the world. When I look at my life and its secret colors, I feel like bursting into tears. Fiction is the lie through which we tell the truth. Real generosity towards the future lies in giving all to the present. To be happy, we must not be too concerned with others. The purpose of a writer is to keep civilization from destroying itself. I used to advertise my loyalty, and I don't believe there is a single person I loved that I didn't eventually betray. Always go too far, because that's where you'll find the truth. At the heart of all beauty lies something inhuman. When the soul suffers too much, it develops a taste for misfortune. I do not believe in God, and I am not an atheist. I had only a little time left and I didn't want to waste it on God. People hasten to judge in order not to be judged themselves. Since we're all going to die, it's obvious that when and how don't matter. Do not wait for the last judgment. It comes every day. Seeking what is true is not seeking what is desirable. If something is going to happen to me, I want to be there. There is not love of life without despair about life. Man is always prey to his truths. Once he has admitted them, he cannot free himself from them. What is called a reason for living is also an excellent reason for dying. Every act of rebellion expresses a nostalgia for innocence and an appeal to the essence of being. Some people talk in their sleep. Lecturers talk while other people sleep. There is scarcely any passion without struggle. I rebel, therefore I exist. The literal meaning of life is whatever you're doing that prevents you from killing yourself. It is the job of thinking people not to be on the side of the executioners. I know that man is capable of great deeds. But if he isn't capable of great emotion, well, he leaves me cold. Freedom is nothing but a chance to be better. What is a rebel? A man who says no. Au milieu de l'hiver, j'ai découvert en moi un invincible été. Mother died today. Or maybe yesterday, I can't be sure. Should I kill myself, or have a cup of coffee? But in the end one needs more courage to live than to kill himself. Idleness is fatal only to the mediocre. The truth is that everyone is bored, and devotes himself to cultivating habits. The most important thing you do every day you live is deciding not to kill yourself. After a while you could get used to anything. Where there is no hope, it is incumbent on us to invent it. And never have I felt so deeply at one and the same time so detached from myself and so present in the world. I know simply that the sky will last longer than I. You can't create experience, you undergo it. We are all special cases. The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Peace is the only battle worth waging. The need to be right, the sign of a vulgar mind. It is better to burn than to disappear. There are crimes of passion and crimes of logic. The boundary between them is not clearly defined. The absurd is the essential concept and the first truth. There is no sun without shadow, and it is essential to know the night. I should like to be able to love my country and still love justice. A man devoid of hope and conscious of being so has ceased to belong to the future. A man is more a man through the things he keeps to himself than through those he says. I don't want to be a genius. I have enough problems just trying to be a man. Integrity has no need of rules. Sometimes at night I would sleep open-eyed underneath a sky dripping with stars. I was alive then. One always has exaggerated ideas about what one doesn't know. Happiness and the absurd are two sons of the same earth. They are inseparable. But what does it mean, the plague? It's life, that's all. Much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid. For who would dare to assert that eternal happiness can compensate for a single moment's human suffering? They knew now that if there is one thing one can always yearn for, and sometimes attain, it is human love. He who despairs of the human condition is a coward, but he who has hope for it is a fool. But sometimes it takes more courage to live than to shoot yourself. And it was like knocking 4 quick times on the door of unhappiness. But the heart has its own memory and I have forgotten nothing. We get into the habit of living before acquiring the habit of thinking. But what is happiness except the simple harmony between a man and the life he leads? Rebellion cannot exist without a strange form of love. The habit of despair is worse than despair itself. The only serious question in life is whether to kill yourself or not. Those who lack the courage will always find a philosophy to justify it. It is a kind of spiritual snobbery that makes people think they can be happy without money. Aujourd'hui, maman est morte. Ou peut-être hier, je ne sais pas. We must learn how to lend ourselves to dreaming when dreams lend themselves to us. But above all, in order to be, never try to seem. There are more things to admire in men than to despise. We are all born mad, some remain so. Am well. Thinking of you always. Love. The absurd is lucid reason noting its limits. There is a life and there is a death, and there are beauty and melancholy between. today we are always as ready to judge as we are to fornicate. I felt the urge to reassure him that I was like everybody else, just like everybody else. Believe me, for certain men at least, not taking what one doesn't desire is the hardest thing in the world. I explained to him, however, that my nature was such that my physical needs often got in the way of my feelings. It is necessary to fall in love, the better to provide an alibi for all the despair we are going to feel anyway. We are going forward, but nothing changes,